morning, Robotics. It's happy to see you here. Let's get our audio levels right here. Let's get our video levels right. Let's get this party started. Today's topic for this video is talking about how to set up your ePortfolio and some of the documentation pieces around making this class work. We're going to hop over to the browser window here, and I'm going to point out a couple things. We can go from there. This is 0.1 on the introductory course site, and it's about the importance of documentation and setting up your ePortfolio. Now, some of you are in intermediate advanced, you're going to go to the exact same place for this, and you're actually going to make this, more or less function from here. It's going to look exactly the same. The reason I use an ePortfolio is actually really simple. I want you to put the portfolio together. I want you to demonstrate what work you've done, and I want you to show it to me. This is something you can keep. This is something you could take and show off your skills after this class is done, and it's something that I hope you take a professional look at in terms of actually putting this together. Now, let's hop back here for a second and let's take a look at what we're doing. So you've got an ePortfolio, and I'm actually going to have you set it up in Google Drive. I feel like the Google tools are really universal right now, and they actually work really well for us. You have a Gmail account with your @educbe account, and we can definitely go from there. So what's going to happen is we are going to hop over to Google Drive, and I'm going to set up an ePortfolio according to the steps that are on here. And it's dead simple. We're going to go Google Drive, log into our EduCBE account. You guys are going to notice that mine has this wonderful don't panic symbol up here at the top. If you do everything right in the next couple minutes, you're actually going to see that, which is your marker that things are going well for you. Press the folder button, you're going to make a brand new folder. Okay, you're going to use your last name, you're going to use your first name, and you're going to put Hub Robotics. And for some of you who are in intermediate and advanced, you may already have an ePortfolio. You may have made one for intro. If that's the case, you can just rename yours and then share it with me. We're going to create that folder, and I'm just going to pop over to that folder really quickly here, and we are then going to, from here, have a nice empty folder. I'm going to turn around, and the first thing I have to do is right-click on the title of the folder itself, and I actually have to share this folder, because it's kind of useless if it's just you. I do need to see it. Now, you're going to see a few things here. You're going to see that I am currently the one that it's shared with. I'm actually going to type in my own email address, which is going to be mdway@educbe.ca. If you're not sure about that, it is available on the blog. If you're not sure about that, throw something in the private discussion forum, and I can definitely fill that in. Once I've done that, I actually am going to see this don't panic sign show up on my share people and groups. This is a sign that you've done this correctly. You are in, I am shared with it. I will confirm with each and every one of you in the private discussions in D2L once I have your folder shared. All of your work for the entire year is going to go inside this folder, and it starts with something really simple. It actually starts with a timesheet, and so let's work with the timesheet piece here and make that actually functional. You can actually see back here on the importance of documentation that I have a couple of asks. And we'll start with the file names here. When you create file names, I would love it if you did things that were descriptive and were professional. That's what we're looking for. I have some great examples here. Great file names. Salt and Pepper Shaker V2 version 2.stl. It's an example of a 3D printer file. And you'll notice that each word in the or each new word in what would otherwise be a sentence are actually capitalized, which means that they are they're actually here as a it's called camel case when we do coding. As well, I've got this one, 2_1_ CAD assignment 01. Okay, when you do numbers, underscores work really well to space things out. As well, floor plan, September 18th, 2018. Great thing. Bad file names, and I see these quite often. I see a lot of untitled documents. If you do an untitled document, I can almost guarantee you that on your information management outcome, competency, that you're actually going to be, I'm going to have to mark you down on that rubric, because this doesn't describe anything. It's really hard for me to work with as your teacher. It's probably also really hard for you to find anything with. Okay, cadthingy.dwg, I kid you not, this came directly out of a student's ePortfolio. Please don't do that to me. It's not a CAD thingy, it's much more descriptive than that. Okay, John's awesome project, it may be the case, but I want you to have a better file name on that. A couple things about file types here. In your folder, in your ePortfolio, you're going to have a lot of things in Google Drive format, in their docs, their spreadsheets, things like that. Those are fine. If you do other things, bringing them into your folder, I would love it if most of your drawings and things came as a PDF. We're also going to use a number of PNG files, which will be your circuit schematics later on. Please don't upload INO files if you can help it. That's the Arduino sketch file. They're really hard to read on my end. They're not really useful in your ePortfolio. And sometimes you will submit things as STL. That's okay. Don't submit DWG files when we do AutoCAD. Please and thank you. One of the cool things here is the timesheet, and I do want you to keep track of how much time you spend working on this course in particular. And part of that is actually creating a timesheet. Now you'll notice that on the link here, I've actually given you a pre-built timesheet. I've given you something to get started with here. You can't actually use this exact timesheet, but what you can do is you can turn around and grab this. I'm going to copy the top of this spreadsheet, go back to my ePortfolio, create a brand new spreadsheet, and I'm going to name it something very descriptive because we just talked about good file names. Okay, Wayne Mitchell, Robotics timesheet, life is good. I'm going to hit paste here, and it's going to bring over the whole top of that timesheet. Now you notice the stuff in red here, I've filled in the first one as an example. So let's say I work today, and I did work on our hub course today on, this one's from a couple of years ago clearly, on February 02. Hey, it's even going to give me a calendar here. It's currently February 3rd, 2021. We're going to type that in. And I started working on this project here, this video, let's say at 10 o'clock a.m. Okay, nothing wrong with that. And I finished it. I'm going to finish it at about 11 o'clock. Please fill it in after you're done on that. Life is good. Task accomplished. Made a video. That's me personally. Yours is probably going to be something a little different. And group members worked with. If you work in a group on any of the projects, which you might on some projects, let me know. And if you worked alone, let me know that you worked alone. This timesheet should be updated every time you work on something for robotics class, and it'll just sit in your ePortfolio, constantly updating. I'll check them occasionally, and when we talk about competencies, we'll absolutely use them for some of your marks. I also just wanted to throw out there that as of right now for the hub class, I've actually set up our private discussion forums. I know they were kind of set up before, but they were a bit wonky. I've set them up properly. They will work. I will be in the process of updating them this morning with all of your introductions. I copied them over and I'll repaste them for you. When you're done with your ePortfolio, okay, let me know in the private discussions that you have them set up, and we can go from there and start this conversation. See you all Thursday morning for our next class, 9:30 sharp, and the Google Meet will be sent out on email and D2L that morning. Cheers.